Hey guys, today we're going to tell you a little crazy story about how we were involved with the same guy at the same time. I don't know if that would be like the right term for it, but we were involved with the same guy at the same time, didn't know each other, and then met later. We're going to get into that story. That's a whole different story. But anyways, I'm going to go first. So, I was on a site called Meet My Yearbook back in the day, which is now Meet Me, whatever. And like I said in many videos, I used to put up my phone number and be like, hey, text me. Of course, this was back before Aaron and I were together, all that. So I met up with this guy named, what should we call him? George. I met up with this guy named George. Okay, so George and I start texting and kind of talking. We're really getting along going through text messages, okay? So for a couple days, everything's good, and yeah, so eventually my family goes on vacation. They had to go without me because I had to work. So George, while I'm kind of staying home and watching the house, George texts me about wanting to meet up. We both kind of lived in cities that were like separated by one or two other cities, so we decided to meet in one of the middle cities to have like coffee and chill at Starbucks. So I went. And I did it because, you know, I used to do stupid shit like that when I was younger. Back before it was cool to date on the internet. You know. Anyways, we meet up at the Starbucks. And we hang out. We go through the whole night. Everything's fine. Except then towards the end of the night, he starts kind of acting really flirty. And I, throughout the night, had kind of decided that I wasn't interested in him like that at all. And that was just kind of weird. So I was just kind of like, okay, and then at the end of the night, he started calling me his girlfriend, even though he'd never technically asked me to be his girlfriend, and I, again, thought that was weird. So anyways, long story short, I was kind of weirded out by that and thought I would never hang out with him again. Well, the next day, we're talking again, even though I was at work, whatever. Everything kind of goes by, and he was just like, oh, let me take you to dinner, blah, blah, blah. And it had been a while since I'd been on a date. Okay, I know this is going to sound kind of stupid and desperate, but, like, I was just like, it might be nice to, like, go on an actual real date and not just meet up with someone for coffee or meet up at the park, whatever. Like, it might be nice to go on a real date, so I'm going to do it. So I go. Everything was fine. We go to my friend's house after, and this is Lauren, okay? This is Lauren's house. This is, So anyways, we get there, and my thing is, because over dinner he was so weird and flirty and wouldn't stop, like, being touchy-feely, like, with me, that I was just like, this is really weird, it's making me uncomfortable, just drop me off at my friend's house, because it's halfway back to my house anyways, like, please drop me off at my friend's house. So we go to my friend's house, and when we get there, he decides that he's going to come in and sit down and hang out with all of us, even though I asked him to just drop me off. So, what do I do to deal with this situation? Let's get drunk.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh God.
So anyways, so I start drinking like as soon as we get there because I'm very uncomfortable and don't know what to do. So everyone's kind of like questioning him and talking to him, and eventually they all say that they don't like George. Like after they eventually kind of get him to leave because he was so creepy that they were just like, okay, bye, like please leave. So he leaves, and everybody tells me George is weird. Please stay away from him. George is a fucking psycho. Please get him away from here. Like, don't bring him back. You can vouch for this, right? Okay. Because her friends and family said the same thing, okay? So anyways, we're just like, yeah. So everything goes by. We have fun that night getting drunk and partying together. And then the next day he kept like texting me really weird stuff about I miss you and blah 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 and like trying to be all mushy and weird, and I just like was having like a hard time responding to that because I didn't see him that way. So I would just be like, oh, like that sucks, you know. And he would be like, oh, I think about you all day. Do you think about me? And I just texted back, sure. And he's like, you don't even think about me. You don't care about me. And I was just like, I don't know you really, like, anyways, so then, oh dear lord, I took him back to Lauren's house. Fucking why? I don't know, but he was a creep, and Lauren's mother-in-law kicked him out because he was being super creepy, and it was amazing to watch her jump down his throat and kick him out. It was awesome. So anyways, But basically, he tried to get me to take off my underwear and give it to him so he could put it in his pocket and leave with it. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, no. Like, no. Like, ew. So, anyways, yeah. So, anyways, then later on, time goes by. We go on another date, and this is like the next day after them kicking him out of Lauren's house. This all happened within the succession of 4 or 5 days, by the way. We weren't even together for a week. We weren't even together at all. But anyways, like, the next day he decides, because it's my day off, that we're going to go to the river together, and I tell him, come here at this time. He shows up almost an hour early. I'm not ready. I'm still working on cleaning my house. My parents are still gone, by the way. So I'm like, why did you come so early? Like, oh, I wanted to spend time with you. We're going to spend time together at the river. Like, are you serious? Like, you did not need to come early. Like, boy, I'm not that into you. Chill. But yeah. So we get there and we go through all this crap. We pack our picnic, go to the river. Okay, so we get to the river, and I told Sandra this story, and she just tells me how awkward it is, okay? So we get to the river, and we meet up with these two guys, like, we just kind of bump into them, and they kind of talk to us, and then we go and sit, and we're sitting, like, on the ice chest, because my parents used to have, like, this huge ice chest, like, you could sit on it. It was so big. It was awesome. So, like, we're sitting on it, and he basically tries to force me to sit on his lap, like, pull me onto his lap. And eventually I did, but I sat with, like, okay, pretend this is him and I'm sitting on his lap. I sat with my elbow like that into his, like, ribs because, like, it was so awkward. I was just like, obviously you're not going to leave me alone, but if I make me sitting on you uncomfortable, maybe you'll stop. But, like, yeah. And then eventually, like, we're standing there and he just, like, grabs me. Well, we're sitting there, not standing, but, like, he grabs me like this. And just grabs me and just, like, starts sticking his tongue down my throat or trying to. And I'm like, boy, this is, like, very thin line. You're crossing the line into rapist territory. Please fucking stop. Like, so I finally push him off of me. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, and I'm just like, oh, I start making a really weird excuse. So, oh, look, there's, like, minnows in the water. Let's try to catch them. Oh, hey, look at this time. Like, I have to go. Like, so we get in his car because he wanted to drive. And we go back to my house, and he drops me off. And so I lie and make up this big story about, oh, Lauren's going to come over. Lauren's going to come over, and you need to leave. We're having a girls' date. And he's like, or I could just stay and, like, hang out with you and your friend. And I'm like, no, it's going to be, like, a girls' night. Like, she's fighting with her boyfriend, and we need to have a girls' night, you know, so she can get over it. And he's like, all right, cool. I can stay until she gets here. And I'm like, no, I want to take a nap before my friend gets here so we can chill and do other stuff. So I finally get him out of my house. And literally, you know it's bad when you do a freaking victory dance when they're out of your house. Like, yes. Like, as soon as I shut the door and he was gone, I literally freaking danced. I'm not joking. Like,
I don't blame you.
But anyways, but yeah, so I did the victory dance and then he leaves. Well, after he leaves later that night, he starts texting me about wanting to go to San Francisco. And I'm just like, I love San Francisco, and I hadn't been to San Francisco in years, and I know this is wrong, and I know I didn't like him, but I kind of played into the, oh yeah, you are my boyfriend, let's go to San Francisco, like, let's go. Yeah, and the whole San Francisco trip, it was just really awkward, because he took me on I wanted to go on, like, those boats out around Alcatraz. Well, he had free passes to go on one of them, so we're like, yeah, like, let's go, like, let's do it. So I went on it with him, and the whole time, like, I'm standing there, and he's standing there like this, like, on me, like, no. And I'm just like, what? So, yeah, so we go through the whole day, and it's just kind of awkward, and then I get home, and the next day I broke up with him, even though we weren't together, and he, like, freaked out. So, the breakup story is even better. Okay, so, anyways, so George and I meet up at Starbucks, and I just straight tell him, look, I think we should just be friends. And immediately it's, what? And then he just breaks out crying, and I'm just like, this is not what I meant to happen. I meant for you to understand this, but you don't. Anyways, so, yeah, then the whole night was just back and forth on Facebook with him and Lauren's boyfriend, because he posted a bunch of mean, nasty shit on my Facebook to me after I broke up with him, or broke up with him that night, and eventually I had to threaten to call the police on him to get him to fucking leave me alone.